To summarize lesson 1 in unit 7, or just give you a little bit of hints, we've been talking about fish a lot. You've been using what we call recursive processes and iteration processes. Iteration is just like repeating something. You iterate, you reiterate, you repeat. Recursive means you're using a previous answer to find the next answer. So when it comes to fish population, you can't know year 13 population without having used year 12 population. Recursive, using past information to get the next answer. So I have another example here. I have 800 butterflies, a 20% population increase by birth, and an 8% population dying each year. 50 new butterflies come in from Argentina. You've been making equations. You should be familiar with now next equations and recursive equations. Now next would say, hey, next year, I probably should talk about this. You have 20% born and 8% dying. It's nice to combine that and net your population change. So 12% increase would be our butterfly population each year. Now, when it comes to now next, I have next year's population would be my current population times 1.12%. I don't really need the percent in there. Actually, I should take that out, just 1.12. Yeah, the percent is alluded to. There we go. I already changed that to a percent. 12% would be 0.12. The reason the 1 is in there is because we want to count our current population. So now times 1 would be how many I already have now, let's say 800, plus the 12%. So we do want the 1 in there when you're adding to your population at least. Then the plus 50 is how many butterflies we're going to add from Argentina. Recursive is not much different. It just has this subscript notation, which we probably talked about, n minus 1 and p sub n. That just says my last year's population and my this year's population. 1.12 is the same, plus 50. Always include your original population, like your p sub o, your n sub o, whatever your start is, if you're doing a recursive formula. So let's try this. If someone said, hey, how many butterflies will it be after 1 year? Well, that one's pretty easy, kind of like you do with your fish. We can use our calculator for this. So we can say, well, there's 800 times the 1.12, and then add the 50 in. We get the 946. Now I want to show you this in Excel also, because I think Excel is an easier way to keep track of things. So I'm going to put 800 up here, and I'm going to put the equal sign, and I'm going to type A1, because I want to use this previous number, times 1.12 plus 50. There's that same number. You can tell that it's correct. So you can always check on a calculator your first year to make sure your Excel is correct. With Excel, what's great then is you can just drag this down, and it repeats that recursive process because you have 800 to start. That's your initial. Remember, that's not a year's population. That's just your start. This is year 1. So it's almost important that you kind of label if that's year 1, then this would be year 2. Whoops. And so on. So you can actually type whatever you need to in here to get really clear and be specific about your answer. When I go back to my calculator, you can get this to recursively process. But remember, you need to use what we call the second, and it's not easy to see here, but on my calculator, right below the 3 is the ants button. So the screen has cut me off, but I went ahead and hit that button below the 3, the ants button, negative sign. Second ants gives you that answer, times, same formula as the last one, but that ants recursively brings up that former answer and puts it in there. Now you can see that 1109, and if I hit enter again, it will repeat the same formula, but it's bringing up the past answer. So just like the Excel would do, it's using the previous number, 1292, and there you have the 1292. I don't care if you use the Excel or the calculator, but just know that Excel will give you a little more breakdown of when someone wants to say if you run out of money or you run how many butterflies. Let's say I say, when will the population be over 2,000 butterflies? Well, you know this is year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there I can say from year 6 I didn't have 2,000 butterflies, but year 7 I do. So if someone said, when are we going to reach 2,000 butterflies? You would say, well, by year 7, somewhere between year 6 and 7. This just gives you more leverage to actually know when you hit a number or when you run out of something and so forth. You can use this for loans and things like that. Just be careful. One caution with this lesson, when you're talking about loans, make sure that if it says it's an annual interest rate, but you're paying monthly, you need to divide that percent by 12.